Cup as well that happened midweek, and then preview a couple matches this upcoming weekend, including a big rivalry, which we will touch on later. So getting us started, Man U and Fulham, I think, had to be the biggest shock result of the weekend, even though I will say I predicted it last week on the episode, so I'll take that one. But Fulham up 1-0. Harry Maguire out of nowhere kind of finds the back of the net from close range to make it 1-1 in the 89th minute. That point, Jackson, we've seen so many times, Man U scores a late equalizer and then a stoppage time winner. Wouldn't have been surprised, but this time it was Alex Iwobi for Fulham. Scored the latest winner at Old Trafford by our visiting team, the 97th minute, to give Fulham all 3 points.
Yeah, crazy stuff. And like you said, when you see Man U in a situation like that, all you're thinking is, shit, here comes Scott McTominay. You're just thinking, here comes that late equalizer. But Fulham, to their credit, they came in and they were playing well. They had the lead up until the 89th after the Calvin Bassey goal. So they looked really good. Sure, Man U had a little bit more possession, maybe a few more shots, but Fulham looked genuinely pretty good throughout the game, especially on the road in Old Trafford. And then, the Iwobi goal at the end, brilliant way to score it as well.
Absolutely.
Give them that lead back right at the end. And great result for a club like that, for Fulham, who you've never really thought they'd be going down this year.
No.
But the more points you get, it just separates you from that conversation at all. Because there was one point where Fulham was like dancing with maybe entering the relegation picture. But, I mean, they can pick up results like this. And because of that, they're going to be mid-table fine this year. Man U, this is not what you need to be doing, especially with what they're trying to accomplish right now. They're a little behind the curve, trying to get back into the Champions League spot. Heading into this week, they were 5 points back from Aston Villa. With this loss at home, they are now 8 points out. It's not what you need, because we're getting towards crunch time now. We're getting to the final little bit here. Most teams only have 12 games left. It's not a lot left. So if you're Man U, if you're Eric Ten Hag, you got to be so disappointed with that, especially because you just got the equalizer in the 89th minute.
Yeah.
You do all this work to fight back. And look, you always want all 3 points, right? But if you can get a point rather than 0 points, that could be crucial down the line. So the fact that you do all this work, you get that goal back, and then just let it all go to waste in the 97th minute, it's got to be heartbreaking for them.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, to make matters worse, Tottenham is sitting in 5th place ahead of Man United for that Europa League spot. And a draw here would have moved it to a 2-point gap. Instead, it's 3, and Tottenham still have a match in hand to play. I want to say they have to play Chelsea, which was a postponed match from this past weekend because of the EFL Cup final, which another thriller there. We might touch on that a little bit before we wrap it up. But not a good look for Man U. And this was something I was personally concerned about coming into this, was you lose Rasmus Højlund. Where are the goals going to come from? If you told me it was going to be Harry Maguire, I would have not believed it at all, that he was going to be the one to get a goal. That attack just looked flat. Props to the Fulham defense and Bernd Leno, who made 8 saves in the match. So they did what they had to do to fend off the Man U attack, but Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, they just didn't seem like themselves and didn't seem like they were really pushing all that hard. And the fatigue was noticeable when Adama Traore came on for Fulham, and I think there was a clip of Garnacho's reaction to that, and it looked like he was just like, oh, shit, here we go. And sure enough, for the winner, Traore runs down the field, sprints right past Harry Maguire, who had no chance in hell at catching him, and finds Alex Iwobi with the cross.
What a run from him, by the way. He's made a living off of doing this.
Yes, he has.
This is what he does. And you bring him off the bench at the end of a game, forget about it. We talk about Doku a lot on this show. You bring on Adama Traore, sure, he's not nearly as gifted as Jeremy Doku, but faster and way, way stronger. And he did really well here, because a lot of times you've seen Adama Traore get in these situations and not get the final ball right. Got the final ball right. It was simple. He just laid it out wide, a little to the left to Iwobi, and he did the rest.
And he's had a brutal season. He's been injured so much. This was his first goal contribution of the entire season. So good to see him kind of getting it going a tiny bit, but took a while for that to happen.
Hey, great to see him back though, man. When Adama Traore is cooking, it is so much fun to watch. So seeing that run right there, that's what he can do. And Fulham, I mean, they're 12th in the league, but they have some difference makers on their team. They've got guys who can do bits. And I honestly think the team is underperforming a little bit at certain points throughout the year. I think they're probably a mid-table team in general. But for a while, they looked like they were falling back down a little bit. But now they're kind of regaining their stride, getting back to where I think they deserve to belong, where they're winning some of these games like that. And it's because of players like Adama Traore, who, even if they come off the bench, they can make that difference. And we saw that. And you talked about it earlier. Where are the goals going to come for Manchester United? Because Rashford's a good player, but he's not a 9.
No.
He's not a 9. You want him on the wing. You want him to run. You want him to do all this stuff. You need a goal scorer as a 9. And the problem is you put Rashford up top, they had to bring in Forson and play him. Forson's 19. Look, good player, great future ahead of him. He's 19.
Yeah.
You lose that element. They don't have that depth up top. Now, I know Garnacho's young too, but it's Garnacho. Let's be real here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's more than
depth.
Yeah, he's more than proved himself so far, Garnacho. And I thought Antony was going to get the start, but he only came on in the 90th minute after Maguire had equalized. So there's that aspect of things as well. It's like, bring him on, but it's not going to do anything. And he's just had a dreadful year as it is. Man, if they manage to make Europe, which it looks like they will make a European competition, there's going to be some, I want to say, big changes coming this summer.
Yeah, they need to go out and get more players, especially in the attack. Because look, if you're not going to play Antony because he's having a horrendous season, you need someone else to step up and play him in that spot. And no offense to Forson, but he's not the option. You need more depth. You need more experienced players. You need another goal scorer. That way you can keep Rashford on the right, have Garnacho on the left, and then you put another goal scorer up top if Højlund gets hurt. You don't even need someone as good. You just need someone who can actually score goals, and you'd be fine. Because think about that front three right there. You've got a pretty solid front three. You really do. And then with as much as you know what, I don't even think Bruno's that good this year, but he is still a useful part of that. So you get that attack going right there. You have a decent attack, but right now with Højlund out, you're missing that. And we saw what Man U can be when they have a goal scorer. They can be pretty good. But right now, it's not going to happen until Højlund's back.
I mean, they had won 3 straight matches, at least 4 straight matches in all competition, or 4 straight Premier League matches, 5 straight in all competitions before this Fulham match. So it was just a drastic drop-off. Or they go from scoring 3-4 goals a game to 1.
Yeah.
One of those things. There was another game that had a late goal. This one was an equalizer this time, and it was Brighton and Everton. Everton took the lead, 73rd minute from Braithwaite. Pretty decent goal there, nothing too absurd. But it was Lewis Dunk who rose like a salmon and headed the ball home to get it Brighton level at home. And big point for them, especially after they'd gone down to 10 men.
Mm-hmm. And Lewis Dunk, he does this a lot. He scores big goals for Brighton. Like, he is the perfect captain, which what a header, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
That was ridiculously good header. I mean, I know the dude's built like a man mountain, but the fact that he can head it so superbly. He's scored multiple goals this season alone when they need him to off of his head. So good result, or not good result, like good to get the point back. Not a great result when you're thinking about it, because Brighton's still in that conversation where maybe we can push for a pretty decent European spot, and you want all the points that you can get. Right now they're in 7th place. If they got all 3 points, they'd only be 3 off of Manchester United for that 6th place spot. So you'd want that win, especially at home. But when you hit the point where they hit, you'll take the point, you know? Yeah. And for Everton, we're going to touch on the other element here in a sec, but you're trying to stay up. You're trying to do everything you can to stay up. Get a point on the road at a very good team. It's heartbreaking that Lewis Dunk scored that goal when he did. You missed out on all 3
3
points.
points would have been massive.
Would have been massive. But you still got a point. And points matter. So you walk out of there, if you're an Everton fan, you're pretty happy, despite the fact that you had that late goal. They played well, too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I want to just quickly talk on the Braithwaite goal. We mentioned how Lewis Dunk's header was great. The ball into Braithwaite from Jordan Pickford was brilliant. Beautiful ball. It bounced around a tiny bit and then fell to Braithwaite, who just struck it home. But Pickford has some good distribution at times, and I think that's why he continues to be England's number one over a guy like Aaron Ramsdale and Nick Pope at a time. So,
plus he plays.
Yeah, that too. Hard to start someone when they don't play.